Welcome back to another little update, Syndology 101. What have I been up to? Well, last video I talked a bit about the new SRT. I gave a little update on the swap car and the turbo that I installed on the swap car. The dual ball bearing from SRT Turbo, the 16G Stage 3. Unfortunately, it appears that turbo has already died. I got the car together, you know, I haven't had a chance to really drive it, and so the other day, when I did this last video, I talked about driving the car. Turbo felt really good. I was very happy. I was very excited about that turbo. A couple days later, I took the car again to drive it, enjoy a little bit of boost, and I got about 4 miles down the road. Car pulled really good. I took it up, gave it a little bit of boost several times, and the fourth time that I went into boost, all of a sudden there was a loud whistling noise, and basically it stopped building boost. Now normally that would be a boost leak issue, so I figured, okay, I have a boost leak, no big deal. I limped the car home. The turbo was kind of I was hearing a whistling noise as I got on the throttle, so I'm thinking fairly, decent sized boost leak. It's whistling. That can happen. So I got it home. Later in the day, I was going over things, and I was looking for visible places where it might be disconnected, and I really had a feeling that because of the way that the Evo turbos, there's a J pipe that attaches to the compressor housing, and it's a little bit iffy. I do eventually want to do something a little bit different. I figured that the charge pipe had just come off of there, so that's where I was thinking it was. Well, as I was going to look at it, I pulled the intake off so that I just checked the turbo while I was there, and unfortunately there was a lot of play in the shaft, both in and out, and some radial play. So if it was a journal bearing turbo, I'd expect a little bit, but the ball bearing turbos are pretty tight normally. This one had a lot of play. Even for a journal bearing turbo, it had a lot of play. So it appears that turbo is dead. I went ahead and I did a boost leak check on the entire system. I did have a couple boost leaks, one relatively large one actually. So I fixed up those boost leaks, put the car back together, and decided to, maybe give it a shot. Maybe the turbo's got a little bit of life left in it. Unfortunately, somewhere along the line, I now have some sort of short. I have a feeling that I may have made a mistake when I was tearing things apart, and I've induced a short of some sort, or I have fried the computer. I am not sure. The car is outside. I rolled it out. Well, I backed it out, and then it died. One of the times that I did get it started, I backed it out, and it died. Left it there. I will get back to it. So, for now, until I trace back where the short is, or perhaps replace the ECU, that car is sitting for now. So, chances are, turbo-wise, that turbo's done. Even as I was backing it out, I could hear the turbo whistling and whining. It's done. I got a hold of Arashi Turbo or Arashi Turbo, whichever it is. Sent them an email, sent them a video of the shaft play. Haven't heard back from them. We will see. Not really expecting much. I've read good things about them. I was really excited to give that turbo a try. I'll write it off. It's not a big deal. It's just a 16G. Wasn't, you know, entirely expensive. It would have been great if it worked, you know, wonderfully as it appeared to be. Maybe something I did, I don't know. It's dead. Move on. I do have, and probably what I'm going to do when I get it back up and running, I have my crazy 25G turbo that I'll probably put in place. And it's, when I say it's a crazy 25G, it's basically a big wheel swap. It's a 25G compressor on a TD05 turbine. So it's pretty unbalanced in a manner of speaking. But at the same time, I mean, a big wheel swap is kind of unbalanced as well. So it's either going to be really, really laggy, or it's going to spool really, really fast. And we'll get some crazy part throttle boost, but we'll see. So that's probably what that one is going to be when I swap that turbo out, because I've got it sitting. I may send, I have that Evo 8 turbo that's destroyed, that came with one of the kits, that I may send to Matthew at Turbo Bay Performance for one of his big wheel swaps for that. We will see. I shot him a message. We'll talk about it, and I'll go from there. So that's where that one is at. It's basically sitting until I get the mental capacity to want to tackle it, because it seems like every time I take that car apart for something else, some other wrench gets thrown into the plans. So I will, when I'm ready, I'll get back. It's probably something very simple. We will see. As for this one, the slow work of restoration continues. I got a hold of Bogdan at Flame Red Performance, and I'm sending him my ECU and skim for him to basically flash it back to factory. HP Tuners got back to me and said, even though my ECU is unmarried from the Diablo Sport, it needs to be flashed back to factory for HP Tuners to read it. So it wasn't always like this. I actually, and we're talking years ago, 2014, 2015, you could read a Diablo Sport tune with your HP tuners. I'm sure there was some legal issue and whatnot, so they're all locked from one another. So that just made it another fun thing that I have to do. So I'm sending the ECU out and the skim tomorrow for him to factory flash, and hopefully that will get me the ability to read it with HP tuners. So yeah, that part's fun. But you know, that's all part of the game. You can see the front end is off, cleaning things up, a little bit of undercoating. The factory primer is still in really good shape. I just threw the undercoating on there, just freshen it up a bit, protect it a little bit more. And underneath, I've cleaned underneath. It's really looking good. So the work continues on this one. Let's see if we can get a shot inside. The carpet is looking really good. Let's see if we can look in here. See the floor. I've got it cleaned up, and got the carpet. This carpet was just nasty. This carpet was just really nasty. It stunk. There was a lot of, just gross. So between steaming the carpet, degreasing it, drying it, deodorizing it. And I'm still actually going to do more to that carpet because it's not quite as clean as I'd want it to be. Got the new front fender liners here in the back of the trunk. Trunk is pretty well cleaned up. I'm actually going to pull it again and go even deep, more of a deep clean. This little steamer unit right here. Come on, James. There we go. This little guy. That's a beast. Like 30 seconds, you plug that thing in, and in 30 seconds, you have steam. And when it comes to stains and crap in carpet, a good steam clean makes a good steam clean. Not some of those. I've messed with some of those crap steam cleaners that you rent or whatnot. Unless it's true hot steam, they don't work worth a crap. So this little guy steams really well. It's got a brush on the end. You can hit it with another brush. If you need a chemical, you can add some chemicals with it. I just use, on this one, I use straight water, and then you vacuum it up. You can damp it up with a towel as well. Hit it with a heat gun, dry it, and great for carpet. I've also, you know, kind of steam clean parts in here. You know, different parts of the chassis to get, you know, some of the real in there dirt out, so that I can then, you know, clean it up and hit it with a little bit of you know, primer or paint or whatnot. But it's coming along. It's taking a while, which I plan on this car taking a while to get done. The other thing, in certain places, I will be adding some sound deadening material. I put some on the floor inside of there, and then I used that rubberized undercoating on top of it just to blend it in with the rest of the factory sound deadening material. So you can actually, you can see it. I laid some in here in a couple little random places. I was just checking it out. I'm probably going to pull some of that. That was my initial lay down. Really not going to make much of a difference in the trunk. Just my testing area. But the idea is just to make it better than factory. Try to bring it up to that factory spec and a little bit above it. Eventually spray it, you know, the outside, get it looking good, get it running good, and yeah. So that's kind of the update here at old Sendology. It has not been the couple weeks that I wanted it to be, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Yeah, I do wish that turbo had lasted. I really do. Yeah, the short is bugging me, but that's just wiring. I'll figure that out. It is what it is. I will figure it out. If I did in fact fry the computer, well, while Bogdan has my other ECU, I will purchase one from him, and you know, we'll go that route. We'll just do what we got to do. But you know, maybe that's a blessing in disguise. Maybe that 25G turbo that I have is really the turbo that I want. So this will kind of skip me ahead of the line. The turbo, before I leave, I have two different 25G turbos. I have an Arashi 25G turbo with a 9-blade turbine wheel and an 11-blade, I believe it's an 11-blade compressor wheel. Then I have a Kinugawa 25G. That's one that I have, probably is going to go in first. It is a 6-blade, 6-on-6 blade compressor wheel, and the factory 12-blade turbine wheel. The reason I'm going to use the 12-blade first is because it should spool up quicker. Now that will hamper it on the top end, but I don't really care if I lose some of the top end. My goal is still, even though it's my race car, if you will, I still want more of a street turbo. So I'm going to try that one first, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, that's where we're at. Yeah, I will catch you on the next one. Oh, another thing that I have, picked up a transmission jack because before this car goes on the road, I am going to drop the fuel tank. I'm going to add a drain to it, and I have a DCR 255 fuel pump that I'm going to add to it just to replace the factory fuel pump. Who knows how old it is? I mean, I think it's factory. I don't know. But I might as well change it because it's almost 20 years old at this point. So might as well swap it out. And so I picked up a transmission jack to make that so much easier on the lift with one person. So, all right, that's it. That's all I got for today. And I will get back with you guys, let you guys know how and if Arashi Turbo gets back with me, if they warranty it. Would I ever recommend their turbos? Well, I got one bad one. I have a second one over there. If that one dies too, well, then I would say probably not. Could it have been something that I did? Possibly. Could I have oversped that turbo? If my boost leak was bad enough that that turbo was trying to spool up and maintain pressure with that boost leak and was able to maintain pressure but just oversped itself and then died, well, then that's my fault. Should I have done a boost leak test before I put it on the road? Yeah, probably so. That is my fault. So at the end of the day, I can't blame them. I can't, you know, I'm not upset. I'm upset just because it died, but I'm not saying that I would never recommend them or that it's all their fault or whatever it is. It's a performance car. It's a turbocharger. Things die. Plan on destruction. So, all right, I'm going to get out of here. Won't waste any more of your time babbling. Until next time.